I'm at a side job. I'm at Sean's house. We've done a lot of work here to his property and around his house. So today I'm here to pull out the stump right here. He wants me to rip the stump out. Last year when I was here, I used my bucket because that's all I had at the time here with me. And I kind of chipped away at it. It is actually much bigger than this. Today we got the Artillean stump bucket with us. So we're gonna see if we can tackle it and get it out of here today. Now he's got some topsoil here because this is the place where I put in that pad. So I'll link that video up here. That was the video where I built a pad for him for the shed. So you can see the pad is doing really well. I was telling everybody in the comment section that I was gonna come back here next year to kind of show them how everything turned out and how it looks. So as you guys can see, the pad is holding up really well. It hasn't sanken at all. I'm really happy with it. He's really happy with it. You can see how much I had to build it up over in this corner here because this is all sloped downhill here. But yeah, he actually had to Amish build the shed. Yeah, it turned out really nice. He's really happy with it. So another reason we're here today is because we're gonna be filling some low spots in his yard. Over here is the topsoil. This is all the topsoil that I pulled out from digging this pad right here. So this has been sitting here since last year, and it's actually pretty decent dirt. There was some rocks in it and whatnot, so it's not going to be the best, but he shouldn't have any problems growing any grass on this. There are some rocks in it, but it was actually some pretty decent dirt. The stuff on the top here is probably the best dirt because that was when I was digging the deepest over here, so there won't be as much sod and stuff in it. So I'll probably end up grabbing my bucket and kind of turning this over a little bit, mixing it up and getting it kind of fluffed up a little bit before I start spreading it. That way it'll spread a little bit easier. Before I do that, I'll give you guys a little tour of the yard and show you some of the low spots I got to fill. So right here in front of his driveway, somebody drove into his lawn, kind of rutted it up. So there's a couple ruts right here. So he wants me to throw a little bit on top of these ruts here. He also says it's a little bit low right here in this corner, and he always splits wood right here, so it gets kind of muddy when it rains. So I'm gonna kind of build this up just a little bit and kind of run it off into these ruts here and kind of blend it in with the back over here. So we're gonna use a little bit of that topsoil for that right there. Then out back here, he actually had I think a second well put in because he was running out of water. So he had another well put in. He also had some work done with this tank, I think, and this gas line here had kind of settled. So this is a big divot right here. And then he's also got a big divot here coming off of the new well that he had put in. So he basically wants me to throw some topsoil in, starting right at the edge right here and kind of working it out towards the house, because you could see all through here, it's super low, all the way back through. So we're definitely gonna get some topsoil in here, and there's like a big divot right here as well. So we're gonna get all that filled in with that topsoil. Also gonna spread a little bit out through here. Gonna throw a little bit of topsoil on top of these roots here so he's not hitting them with the mower. They're really not too bad, but while I'm out here spreading topsoil, I might as well put a little bit on here so we can get these roots covered up. Now all this back here, this is all the land that I cleared. This was all woods all the way up into this line here, and it curved all the way around and went down his property there. And this was all woods filled with all kinds of garbage and small trees and everything, and I had cleared all this out, and it actually turned out really nice. It's almost like a golf course back here now. So I had graded all this, and I did it all with the bucket. Went all the way down clear to that tree right there, and then it went all the way over. It was all in front of that tree there. I actually cleaned all that out behind that tree. That way he's got a nice property line that rotates around the house here. So he's really happy with the way it turned out. So am I. Very pleased with it. He actually planted the grass seed and he's been maintaining it, so he's got that growing really nice. I will probably show a video clip of this as well from me, you know, grading some of this out in one of my older videos from last year, just so you guys can kind of see what it looked like before I came here. I smoothed it out behind this tree. There was some roots sticking out. There was a bunch of roots over here, some big ones. So I built it all up here so that the roots aren't sticking up, so he ain't gonna catch it with his lawnmower. I smoothed it out around this tree here. So yeah, it turned out pretty nice. It really looks big back here now. It's gonna be about it. So since I got the bucket on, I think that's gonna be the first thing I do is start filling some of these low spots in. And once we get these low spots filled in, I'll grab the stump bucket, and then we could start tearing out that stump there in the middle of his yard. Aside from that, I think he has a few big logs that he wants me to move that he said he couldn't move by hand. So I did bring the pallet forks with me. I got to talk to him about that. I think he does want me to move a few of them bigger logs for him. Aside from that, it should be a pretty easy job. So we're just filling some low spots, ripping out a stump, and possibly moving some bigger logs with the forks. So I'm gonna get on the tractor now, get this thing unloaded, and let's get to work. All right, so we got that area all taken care of. See, I brought it up quite a bit. Probably at least a good inch or two, especially in this area here. It was pretty low in that corner. That's why it was getting so muddy. All the water was just sitting in that corner there. So I brought this up, took care of those 2 ruts where his buddy pulled in the lawn there. Looks much better now. I think he's gonna be really happy with that. Now we can go ahead and move on to out back where we got all them big ruts and divots. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so my plan over here is just to start close to the edge of the lawn here, and I'm just gonna work my way back towards the house. And then once we get this this patch here all straightened out, then we can go ahead and work on this one here. All right, guys, well, I think I got all the divots and low spots taken care of. See, it comes right off the propane tank there. That was a giant low spot coming all the way over. And then that well line that came from that well over here all the way up through. And there was a couple of really big divots along the way. There was one here. There was like one up this way. So I got them taken care of. Covered up those little roots that were kind of hanging over the surface here. Them are all covered up now. So yeah, it turned out pretty nice. The material wasn't too bad, but there was a bunch of like big stones and stuff in there that I had to pick out every now and then. But I mean, aside from that, I just kind of picked through it as I went along, and you know, it didn't turn out too bad. So now we can go ahead and throw on the Artillean stump bucket and start ripping out that stump. All right, guys, well, I think that's gonna wrap it all up today. Got the tractor loaded back up. He's gonna be much happier now, not having to look at that big ugly wart in the middle of his lawn. Looks much better. Kind of drove over it, packed it in real good. I threw one load of that fresh topsoil in it, just to kind of take the gap up from the stump, and then I used what was left to spread over the top of it. That stump was pretty rotted, so it came out pretty easy. The camera actually ended up dying like right at the end, like within a minute from me ripping the stump out. So yeah, that kind of sucks. You guys didn't get to see all the footage, but you guys literally missed like 45 seconds. You know, I probed a couple more times on this side here and it popped right out. So that's all taken care of now. I'll show you guys what's left of the topsoil pile. You guys already seen this. This turned out really nice. It's not all low through here anymore. This is what's left of the topsoil pile. So he's still got, you know, a decent amount here. Probably at least a couple tons left over here, so he could use that for future projects. And lastly, over here turned out nice. Got all them low spots and divots all taken care of. Overall, I think he's gonna be really happy with it. I gotta take off now. I gotta go to my parents for a Father's Day dinner, so that'll be nice. Get some food. So I'm gonna go relax the rest of my weekend. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.